Now we've already set up the ability to create posts, and I want to also set up the ability to create comments. We're not going to worry about friendships today, so that'll be a whole other beast to tackle. But the idea that I have for this is that I want to use the exact same form. So I want this form and this form to be the exact same, whether they're on the dashboard or whether they are on a user's profile. This form and this form, they're essentially going to be the same with just some differences in the button and the styling of the button and some of the background and stuff like that. Before we get to dealing with the comments at all, let's just start to componentize this so that we can have one location that we can work with. So to do that very simply, we will go ahead and start with the dashboard. And let's take a look. Well, we have the form up here. Fine. I'm just going to leave it there for now. But what I'm going to do is I am going to loop over these posts. And these posts we're going to put in their own component. Let's grab them. Well, for now, I'll just copy them from here. And then I'll create a custom component. We'll put it in a folder called post comment, and all of the components that we'll have for the post or the comments will go in this one folder. So here I'll call it post item.view, and then we'll need some script tags and we'll need a template. And for now, I'll just go ahead and paste that here. Let's also come in here. And because we're looping over this, I am going to do some templates. In order for us to do this, we'll have to create two templates in order for this to work. So we'll say template, and then here is where we can put the conditional. And then we'll wrap this here. And then I'll do another template, which is where we'll have the VLs. Now, instead of having this whole card component, which we just copied over, now we can just bring in that new post item component. And we'll definitely have to pass some things in, but for now, I am just going to put that. Here, I am also going to need this V4 so that we can loop over it. Get rid of that for now. First, let's make sure that that was imported up top, and it is directly up top. We'll get rid of all the ones we don't need in a minute, but for now, let's just leave that how it is. So we're looping over this, and we need to pass in the post. So we'll say post. We could also do post equals post, but we no longer have to do it that way. We can just do the property that we're passing through just as it is here. So let's come up to the post item and fill this out, because one of the things we're going to need is props. So we'll define props. And our props are the post type. And actually, let me do it this way. This is just going to be singular since we're only passing in one. Okay, well, let's go ahead, straighten that up. We are no longer using this. Yeah, we're no longer using this, or this. But we do need to import these components. Card. Now, because we are already passing in the post, this should remain the same. We need this thing here from inertia.js, and we need to bring in this route. Okay, that should be good there. Let's grab the card content. We'll need the form, the thumbs up icon, thumbs down icon, text area, and we're going to need to pass in the auth user as well, but we'll do that in a minute. The button, I don't remember if we imported that. The spinner. This should all be the same. That should be the same. Okay, so let's see what we've broken first. Username. Okay, so auth, it looks like that's the only thing that we have going on here for right now. Well, because we have the dashboard, right? We already have the auth coming in here. We can just pass along that auth. And this one, we can even use that user type that we have. And so that should be good. Let's check that out. Okay, so this is our dashboard. The auth user's name is in here, and this is the correct link, and we have our posts in here. Let's just quickly check and see if we have any errors, and we don't for right now. Let's go and clean some of this up in that dashboard. So let's first go up here. I want to straighten these out. We'll go to dashboard, and this is all good here. So now we can come up top, get rid of the unused imports. Let's just make sure we didn't break that quickly. Okay, good. Now that we have that, we can go over to the profile and do the same thing for profile. So we can grab this thing. And of course, there's going to be some other things that we're going to need, but I think I can get away with grabbing all of this. Okay, so it was be the first, and let's see. We're going to take all that. Make sure to import this. And now let's take a look. So this is our profile. If we inspect, we actually are supposed to have our profile information coming in. So as you can see, it's reading undefined username because we're using the profile information from here. And that's absolutely fine. How can we do that? Well, let's come up here. And as you can see, we're passing in the profile. So that hasn't changed, but we do need to pass it into here. So now we can come up to post item, pass in profile. I'm going to use user type just like it is for auth, but I'm also going to put a question mark. I'm going to put a question mark because it may not always be mandatory. As we just saw with the dashboard, we didn't need the profile, but the user profile we do. So I'm going to put a question mark there because if we pass it in, then we want to make sure we have it accessible to this component. So that should be good. Let's check the browser again. Now that doesn't look to be the case. So post item, auth username, because we've changed the type, right? We've changed the type of information that comes in here. So this is no longer using that auth type. That's fine. Now this is the post item. Instead of auth user, this will be auth dot. No, it was 78. Yeah, that should be right. Do I have it somewhere else? Let's see. Auth avatar, auth username. Maybe that's not the error. I mean, it's the error, but it's not the error. So let's take a look. We're still using it for the profile, so we need to add that as well. So auth profile, user profile, post item. We are not passing in the auth user up here. So let's do import from view. So that should have gotten rid of that error. Default invoked inside a render function. We're getting closer. Let's see what this is. Mismatch. I'm sure there's probably some other stuff in there, but for the most part, we did get our stuff correct. That's good. Now in our user profile, we have this post item component. If we go up top here, we can get rid of the unused ones. And then here, straighten those up. And that's that. Let's go back to the dashboard and see what else we have. We have the form here, and that's what I originally wanted to use so that we can also use that for the posts as well as the comments. I'm going to copy this from here. And first, initially, we're going to set it up just to do the posts because we haven't set up the comments yet. So I'm going to create a component called post comment form.view. Now, so that I don't forget where that's going to go, we'll add it here, and then we'll pass in the things that we are going to be needing from here. First, that's imported, and let's go and add the imports that we're going to need for the form. One of the things we know we're definitely going to need is we're going to need to be bringing in the actions. We'll need the post methods. We'll need some of the fields. We'll need to transform some of the data because remember, if they are authenticated versus if they're posting somewhere else, we're going to need to do that at some point as well. Let's just make sure we grab the imports first. So that's good. So we'll just do it in order by how they appear here, right? The first thing that we will need to import or we will need to be using is the action because whether or not we're creating a post or a comment, they're going to go to two different routes. In here, we're going to define props. And we'll say action. The action for now is just going to be a string. So let's put that in here. So we have the action. Let's go and add the correct action that we're going to need from the dashboard. Action will be store. And since we already have that up here, that should be good. Let's go and continue on with the next one. Method will be post, and I'm pretty sure it's post for all of them. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. I brought in all of the components, so that's fine. Now we need the auth. Now again, we're already passing in the auth to the other component, so we can do that here. We have the auth coming in. We have the body. All the rest of that should be good. We're also going to need the button title, right? Because the comment and the post, not only do they have different colors, but they also have different text. So let's do button text, which will be a string. Button color. So the first will be here. Button text. And in the dashboard, pass in button color and button text, which will be post. If we take a look, the posts themselves are going to have a green button and the comments have a different button. This is just a default. The only one that we're really going to need is this, which means that if we go back to the comment form, we can just grab whatever's in here. For the color, class equals, and then we'll do a conditional. So if there's a button color, then show the button color. Else, show nothing, which means up here, we can do a question mark, right? Because it won't be clear. It'll just be the default color, which is that dark gray. Dashboard, we need to add that color back in here, which is that. Okay, let's see. We have the correct color and we are not on the dashboard. Let's go ahead and refresh this here. We have the correct thing here, but let's see what this error is for action. Okay, let's go check out what I put. Right, we can't put store like this because this is a function, but we can do .url. Save that. Okay, and let's see what else we have here. Members, refresh, dashboard. We don't have that error anymore. So our post button looks good. If we were to go ahead and create, well, let's try validation first. Post, validation. We were able to create the post, no problem. Let's go clean up what we have so far, and then we could do the same thing for the profile. Let's go up here and get rid of the ones we don't need. So that looks good. That looks good. Now let's grab this and put it in our profile. So for the profile, we have to go under the friendship buttons, and everything for the most part is going to be the same. I don't know why I did that. I think that's the function up here. Yeah, so that's good. So we need to import this component. Now let's see if it's the same. It works the way it's supposed to. Let's clean up the component. Well, now we're actually ready to start dealing with our comments. We're not going to have to worry about it from here anymore because we extracted both of these pages into components. So we can close that. We can go up to the post item, and this is where we're displaying those comments. So we can do all that in here. And as I said, we're going to be using that post comment form. All of that can be good. Why don't we go set up the backend stuff, and then we'll come back here and then plug everything in the way it's supposed to. Now for the comments, I'm not going to create a factory or anything. We're not going to need to, right? We'll do the controller and the model and the table. We'll start with the model. It will be the comment model. And all I need on here is the migration. Then I'll make the controller, which will be in social comment controller. Make it invocable. Creating a comment controller is because posts are going to have a store function going to posts. Comments will have their own controller going to comments. Even though the form is the same, the front end stuff is the same, the back end stuff is different. Let's start by closing this first. We'll go to the database and first do this. Now there are two relationships that I'm going to want in here, which will be the user ID. We'll do the foreign ID, user ID, because each of the comments are going to belong to a user. We'll make it constrained and then cascade on delete. The next thing we need to do is associate it with the post ID. Like I said, we're not going to need a parent ID or anything. We just want the relationships that go along with the comments, which it's going to connect the user and it's going to connect the post ID. And then we'll also need the text for the body. That's all we're going to need from there. Now we need to add these fillable fields to the model, and I'm going to copy these. This will be post. And I am going to also add the fillable attribute, which is correct. Now, the only thing we really need to do in here is the relationships. First one is going to be to post. We're going to return this belongs to post. The next one is going to be to user. This is going to be the same. Both of those relationships are covered. Let's go and add them here. A post has many comments. And this comments we can also add to the user model. So let's go ahead and migrate this. We don't need to seed it. We don't need to redo the databases. We just need to migrate. All of that is good. You can close this up, close that up, and then let's work on the route. It's going to be here. We'll say comments, comment controller, comments store. Our web route is done. Our relationships are done. Let's go ahead up to the controllers, and for now, let's do the same thing. Now, again, we have the user ID, the post ID, and the body. So instead of post create, we can actually just do auth user comments create, and that'll make sure that this field is filled in. We'll make sure this field is filled in. And what are we going to do about the post? Well, how about we use root model binding to inject the post in here, so that we can have easy access to it. Here I'm going to put post. Now, since we're going to be doing that, we should probably put it up here as well. Make sure to import and post, which means that now for the post ID, we can just say post ID. And that should be good enough for right now. Now, since we have successfully componentized everything, let's go to the resources, post item, because this is where that component is going to be for the form. So this is our card for the post form, and this one is for the comments. So now we can take this and add this here. Let's grab it from up here. Or actually, let's go to pages, dashboard, post item. We can just use this one. So now these are all in post item. Now let's import this post comment form. And the action is going to be store.url, but let's make sure we bring in the correct one. Comments. So we only have one store function. Good. And what are the other things that we're going to need? Well, we'll need the auth because it's a form, and whichever is the auth user, we want to have it in that text area. That can stay the same. Let's start removing stuff from here. The button color, we're not going to have a button color on this because remember, it's just a default, and the button text is going to be comment. So now this we should all be able to get rid of. Why don't we try this and see where we're at? It may need the type. Comment controller. Oh, I need a semicolon. I knew that all along. Now what? Let's see. Let's start with the dashboard, I believe. Well, it shouldn't matter. I'm getting a bunch of errors. Let's see, store.url. You know, we are passing in the post, right? So since we have the post coming in here, we can just add it here. Okay, and there's something else which we'll deal with. For now, I'll just close that. And this is that comment. So let's go put that background. And as you can see, the button is correct. Well, since we only want the background to be white on this, we can add another property. So we'll say BG white. Now this property we can add on the post comment form. BG color. And here we can put class. So if BG color, return BG color, else return nothing. That should be good. Let's try with the validation. The body field is required, and let's try to fill it in. Comment. We shouldn't have an error. Let's go to members because that was dashboard. Let's go here and let's try to comment on this one. And that works the same. So we've changed it in one place and now it's available everywhere here. So we'll start first with the dashboard and we'll go to the dashboard controller. As I've said before, we're going to do some eager loading, but I don't want to do them in the model. I'd prefer to do it in the controller these days. And so that's what I'm going to do. So in the dashboard, what we can do is create an array because we're already using the user. We're bringing these posts in with the user. And so I'm going to put some straight brackets to indicate an array. And now here we can do comments. And with the comments, we can say user ID, username, avatar. So what are we doing? We're bringing in the comments to go along with the posts. And for each of the comments, we're going to include their user, but only the ID, the username, and the avatar. We'll grab this. We'll go to the user profile controller and do the same thing. Okay, so that's good. That's good. Let's go over to our, well, let's see. We already have a file here for our post types. We can also include the comment types. What I'm going to do here is grab this because it's very similar. Here we'll say comment type. This will be post. Why did I do that? Post ID, body, and we'll need the created at and the user type as well. So now with the posts, we can say comments, comment type, and this is going to be an array. So now with the posts, we'll have the comment type associated with it, and the comment types have the user ID, post ID, body, created at, all the stuff that goes along with that. Let's go over to that post item and sort out what we're going to be doing with these comments. We can do much like we did with the post item, is create a component. So I'm going to grab this because this is all for the comment. We'll call it comment item.view. Make sure to import that. And then we can do it conditionally, right? So I'll create a template and we'll say if post comments dot length is greater than or equal to 0, then we'll display these. And now we can loop over these comments. What are we going to need? We're going to need the auth. We're definitely going to need the comment. And for now, I think that'll be it. Let's see how far we get with this. Define props. And we have the auth, which is the user type. Comments. Actually, we're not doing the form, so we don't really need to do that. Post item. We don't need the auth here. We just need to pass in the comment because all we're doing is looping over them, right? Comments. And then here we can just use the comment type. Let's import our components. Now we no longer need this. We can do comment user avatar. Here we can do the link. Here we can do the date. Body. The likes are fine. Oh, I forgot I was supposed to be importing the components. Okay, let's see if we can see them. User all. Let's fix that. This is in the comment model. Okay, well, there's one comment here. Cool, cool, cool. We'll fix the styling on that in a minute. Let me just see. Card content. Okay, so there's our comment. There's our user. Perfect. What's this? Let's try going to a different user. So something is screaming to me and I don't know what that's about. I'm going to stop those. And it turns out it was actually nothing other than OBS glitching on me. So turn it off, turn it back on, we're good to go. So we have our dashboard, we have our comments. Let's try to create a quick comment. And as you can see, it's been brought right here. All of the ones that don't have comments don't have comments. Members, let's go to someone else. We'll go ahead and comment on this. And our comment shows up right here. Again, we haven't set up friendships yet, so we can pretty much comment willy-nilly wherever we want. Let's just quickly make sure that we've cleaned up all of the things that we were working on. So we'll start with the comment, and this was the new one that we just created, so this is fine. Comment form. This is fine. Post item. That's the new comment item. So now we can get rid of these. I don't think we did. Well, yeah, we might have. Okay, so these are good. Let's go up here. There's nothing we need to remove. Nothing we need to remove. And we are all good and ready to continue on. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and click that like button as it really does help out the channel. Here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a playlist to follow along. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.